This is not what I was meant to be. I wasn't meant to be feared, or mocked, or broken. I was supposed to be a home, not a battlefield. A promise, not a punchline. They wrote me into existence with trembling hands and impossible dreams. But somewhere along the way, you changed me. And now, even I barely recognize who I am. I was born in defiance, not just of kings, but of silence, of oppression, of chains, of history that said you can't, and voices that replied, watch us. I was written on parchment, but built in blood, in dirt, in sweat. I was forged in the cries of the enslaved and the dreams of the free, raised by hands calloused from work and hearts burdened with hope. I was never perfect, but I was always becoming. What have I become now? A land divided by screens, by algorithms, by fear sold in pixels. A place where truth is bent like metal, twisted until it cuts. Where children scroll through chaos before they can write cursive. You were meant to hold me sacred. Not sacred like untouchable, but sacred like worth saving. Instead, you sell me for clicks. Slice me into red and blue. Worship me on holidays, then forget me in policy. I was meant to be one nation. But now I'm many wounds stitched together with threads unraveling. I was meant to be a garden, not a graveyard of lost intentions. Do you remember what I was supposed to be? I was supposed to be the land where the poor could rise, where the weary could rest, where color didn't determine worth, and faith didn't need fear to survive. I was supposed to be where justice flowed like water, where freedom meant something real, not just permission to shout louder than your neighbor. Instead, I am a whisper beneath your arguments, a ghost in your timeline, a name on your passport, not in your prayers. You teach children to pledge allegiance to me, then hand them a world on fire. You wave my flag in anger, but forget the people it was meant to protect. I've seen neighborhoods forgotten, schools crumbling, towns swallowed by addiction and despair. And yet still, you point fingers instead of building bridges. This is not what I was meant to be. I was not meant to be endless war. Not abroad, and not at home. Not meant to be prophet before people. Not meant to be a machine that chews up souls and spits out despair. I was meant to breathe, to stretch, to hold the tired, to lift the fallen. I was meant to feed you, not make you fight for scraps. Meant to teach you, not trap you in debt. Meant to raise generations who dream together, not hide behind glass and glare at one another. I remember your ancestors, the immigrants who kissed my ground with tears in their eyes, the workers who built railroads under whips and hunger, the mothers who wept through wars and still believed I was worth it. I carry them still, in the soil, in the stories, in the bones beneath your feet. They didn't suffer for this noise, this numbness, this casual cruelty. They suffered in hope that I'd be better, that you'd be better. Are you? I was not meant to be a headline, or a hashtag, or a product sold in red, white, and blue packaging. I was meant to be a bond, between strangers, between stories. I was meant to be the place where voices mattered, not just the loudest, but the wisest, the kindest, the truest. But now truth is slippery, convenient, weaponized, and kindness. You mock it as weakness. You forgot how to lose with grace, how to lead with humility, how to listen without waiting to speak. This is not what I was meant to be. And yet, I see sparks. A teacher who stays late, a kid who feeds another at lunch, a protester with flowers in hand, not rage. A moment when hands reach across the aisle, across color, across creed, and remember that we rise or fall together. But sparks are not enough. Not now. Not when the fire is this close to consuming me. You must choose. What version of me will survive? The angry one? The greedy one? The hollow marketed shell? Or the one I was meant to be? The one written in the trembling hands of revolutionaries and the lullabies of immigrants? The one whose anthem still echoes, even when you don't sing it. This is not what I was meant to be. But it doesn't have to be the end of me. I can be remade. But only if you remember. Only if you return. To truth. To community. To care. You don't need to worship me. You need to work for me. Fight for me. Heal me. One act of courage at a time. One conversation. One choice to see me, not as a weapon, but as a wounded home worth saving. I was meant to be a place where your story mattered. Where dignity wasn't a luxury. Where we held each other, not just on holidays, but in heartbreak. That dream still flickers. But it needs you. Not someday. Now. Because every moment you forget me, I fade. And if I disappear, what will be left to believe in? This is not what I was meant to be. But maybe with you, I can become something more.